as a OR. Then sometimes which can also be called as a operational research also. Okay, so that is the short term word which to be used. But this is the management science will be represented as MSc. Okay, some other countries, they might be using operation research as a management science. Okay, in sometimes which is also be called as a industrial engineering and the data science. Okay, which to be represented by IE and the DS. Okay, these terminologies also you can remember because these shortcuts are using in the textbook. Okay, then when it started, the history of war. Okay, especially the operation research is to be get introduced and defined by Charles Babbage. Okay, during his session, that is 1791 to that of 1871. Okay, he itself is called as the father of operation research because he did many research on the transportation and sorting of mails. Okay, in olden days, the transportation is very less. Okay, especially the transportation is using for mail application purpose to send a particular material from one location to another location. Then sort out with respect to the top particular location has to be reached. Okay, if I taken into example, Bangalore, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Coimbatore. Okay, these are what different areas. But all these things are to be located at one centralized controller. Okay, whatever mailing product which is to be there will be received. Those are to be segregated. What are the problems will rise? How effectively we can transport for the particular material towards one location to be defined by him. Okay, which are to be get resulted with respect to that of the operational point of view. Okay, during the year 1840. Okay, this is what the research was to be taking place in case of the operation research. And then whatever is to be taken place, which is not the in only one day, not 2 days. Okay, in a week. Okay, in a month, not, which is taken decades of years. Because one approach I need to define effectively, which might be taken care towards all the problems to be resolved, so that the overall will be taken care by many decades from the many organizations. Okay, so that the whatever operation research are there will have the proper analytical methods to define the proper operational research. Obviously, which leads to what? The controllability among what production is to be required. Then second thing, okay, during World War II, okay, this operation research is used especially for the military services because many attributes are to be present in case of the military application. There also this operation research is used. Okay, during the what? World War II. Okay, then what is the evolution? Okay, in your especially PLC, I have discussed this type of flow chart, evolution of PLC. This evolution of OR is also be important. Okay, this line diagram is most important. Okay, you can carry this for the particular application. If it is asked, explain the evolution of operational research. You can use this flow chart, make the explanation. Okay, in previous case, in the history, I told Charles Babbage, who is the what? Father of OR. Okay, why he used that operational research? Where he used, especially he used in transportation and sorting of mail. What is the purpose of this? Because the cost which is incurred in transportation and sorting of mail is higher. To reduce that one, he implemented a proper research that will be introduced in the year 1840. Okay, then one more fellow came. Okay, in 1890, he implemented that is in industries. Okay, especially that is industrial engineering. For what reason? For the scientific management. Because many technique, many approaches are to be introduced in older days also. but those are to be defined in a systematic way. Okay, who is that? Frederick Tyler. Okay, is the person who get introduced towards the scientific management, especially for the industrial engineering, because the production to be taken care in many industries to gather together whatever the raw material which is to be used effectively, then the proper product to be come out as a output. There which is to be defined systematically, that is introduced in the year 1890. Okay, in 1900, Henry Gantt. Okay, he used especially for the project scheduling. Okay, then Henry Markov, he's used his own processes, especially for the project operation and the maintenance point of view. Okay, then there will be a proper assignment which are to be used for the network applications. Because whenever the networks which are to be used for the communication point of view, obviously there'll be a proper method to be adopted. Those are to be defined during this year. Because every decade there'll be improvement which is to be introduced one or another that have to be shown here. Okay, 1910. Okay, F.W. Harris, inventory theory he defined. Because some product have to be invented, there'll be a proper process and operation to be required. For that reason, one theory he defined. That theory is defined in the year 1910. Okay, then keeping theory is defined by the Erlog. Who is the person? Okay, this is also one of the portion in your modules also. Okay, there we can discuss this in detail. Okay, then whatever he defined, okay, for that improvement has to be incorporated by Dodge and roaming. Okay, that is the quality theory which to be incorporated with respect to that of the industries. Then William Swart, he introduced towards control of charts. Okay, in your project also we are telling you that you follow the flow chart. Why that flow chart is required? What process, how which is to be taking place? To define that one, the control charts are defined. That is by the William in the year 1920. Then in 1960, okay, John D. Little, okay, keeping theory and the simulation models are defined. Okay, these are to be used in scientific method, scientific approach for the many technique as well as the technologies. Okay, in 1950, okay, Tucker, he defined non-linear programming methods. Okay, there'll be linear equation, there'll be non-linear equations. Those iterations are used to resolve the problem effectively. Okay, then Rob Gori, he defined with respect to that of integer programming. Okay, because the integer is also one of the method which is to be used by the system to define with a proper operation point of view. Then PERT and CPM, which it is especially using in the transportation application itself. Okay, then dynamic programming, which is defined by the Richard Bellman. Okay, during World War II, especially with respect to that of military application, many researchers are to be gone because whatever the problems are to be raised during the war to be get resolved in future, what solution to be taken care with respect to that of the operation which to be taking care in the war itself. Okay, those are to be also be one of the research we need to follow with respect to that of the future implementation point of view. Then George, he implemented linear programming, that is in the year 1940. Okay, then during that moment, the first computer is introduced. Okay, these days, the manual approaches are going on. Once in 1940, computers are introduced. For that reason, the algorithms are used. Okay, then John Neumann, he's used game theory to define in a systematic operation for any industries, organization, institutions to provide the proper approach itself. Okay, that is in the year 1930. Okay, then in 1970, microcomputers are to be introduced. Okay, these microcomputers are to be used for many applications where it to be required. Then in 1980s, there'll be a requirement of linear programming. There, the utilization of personal computer then OR, then management system softwares are designed. Then in 1990, spreadsheets, that is, we'll call that as Excel. Okay, those Excels are also being used as a packages to define proper system and analysis itself. Then those are to be proper informs. Okay, now in 2021, which to be going on. Okay, during that moment, we are there. We need to define, we need to implement for the proper operational point of view. Especially the IT is having a proper control over with respect to that of the operation research, especially the age of big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. All these will play a very important role. How? There will be development which is goes from year on year in a proper decades towards the proper development on the research which ought to be taken care for the proper operational point of view. Okay, practice this flowchart, make the explanation on your own with respect to that particular decade itself. Keep all these in mind. Okay, kindly carry with respect to these things. Try to remember with respect to this flowchart. Okay, what is to be taken care with decade on decade. Those are also be very important. Next. During World War, what was to be taken care? Scientific technique which are to be used for the research of military operations towards the war, which is to be technique which to be used for the development. That itself is called as a war. Okay, because the proper formal discipline, the operation research are originated from the effort of army advisor. Okay, during the time of World War II, there also the research is used. Okay, these are the explanation with respect to that. Once you can go through the same. Okay, where in India the operation research are present from many organizations. Okay, which it is there in the year 1949. Okay, the first operation research is unit is established in the Hyderabad, which is named as the Regional Research Laboratory. Okay, because they might be asked you, okay, explain operational research which is to be established in India. You can capable to explain the same. Okay, then the another which is to be established towards the Defense Science Laboratory to fix the store purchase, proper planning for the problems. Okay, in 1953 in Kolkata, the one more unit which is to be established, that itself is called as Indian Statistical Institute. There also the operation research is going on. Major objective of this establishment of this institute is that the techniques which are to be used for the national planning and the survey application point of view. In 1957, the operation research society to be built in India, okay, which to be used for the International Federation of Operational Research Societies. Because the many societies are also be having the proper planning and execution to monitor all those things. The one organization which is to be defined for the society's application point of view also. Okay, then today utilization of the OR technique will be spread out from army to wide area of department levels. Okay, then there will be chapters which are to be present. Okay, in Agra, Ahmedabad, Ajmer, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. Okay, in many places in India, these operation research centers are to be established to monitor. Okay, this is also be important for the examination point of view. During the history point of view, you can make explanation using these points also.